Hello everyone, my name is Dustin24, and welcome back to another Top 10. And yeah, today is a bit interesting, and based on something you may or may not be aware of, that being the Akumatized villains. Now, this is one that, personally, I want to talk about. Especially the fact that Season 3 is over, I want to talk about the Akumatized villains. Personally, I had some thoughts about them, and basically enough, I wanted to do a top 10 based around the best villains or Kunai villains in the series. But what is the series about? Well, let me tell you. The Miraculous series is pretty much a collaboration with Zenki Hersey and as well as Toho Animations. It's based on a mix of both French, Japanese/Chinese, as well as makes a superhero genre. In such, it pretty much creates somewhat a French version/American version of Sailor Moon. But the only difference here is pretty much getting products from a jewelry at best. It's actually, it's actually kind of strange, but it is a new take on a superhero genre. As well, getting new heroes as well. And keep in mind, it was during the time back in 2000, maybe 2014, if I remember correctly. In any case, for this list, this is going to be personally my opinions. However, we had to put some ground rules for a sec. The rules are pretty much simple. Each of Kunai villains are based on drawn to emotions, whether it be stress, distress, or something must have happened. So as such, the villains must be here in this list have all as older. Their motivations, their design as their look, as well as their powers and abilities, and their execution of the show. You see, in Ladybug, there are a ton of villains there are a lot to cover. Especially in fact, some villains are interesting at best. Best to give it a fair shot. So as such, for this list, this is just personally the ones I pick. If there any Akumatized villains that you like should have been on the list, then please put comment section down below. If you have any thoughts about these villains here in this list, or are there any Akumatized villains in this one as well. Also worth mentioning this, I'm not going to do an honorable mention. While there's a lot, but however, I feel like this is personally a top 10. So as such, I just mostly focus on the top 10 characters. Well, at best, there are a lot such as Owlman as well as Bubbler, but there are going to be some that I personally pick. With that all in mind, hope you guys enjoyed this one. And one more thing, I cannot feature Hawk Moth at 3. Well, there are villains, but they're just mostly American villains at best. That being said, let's get to the top 10 best Akumatized villains of the series. And to start with this one is the Bubbler. Yeah, pretty much everyone expecting this character being, or for those who don't. Well, keep in mind, this is personally my list. Although while execution and motivation seem bland, especially on his motivation to had the kids rule the world, like a person wanted to do that. But his design is actually kind of unique as well as giving a fresh take. While our Market Ladybug episodes, including villains, have somewhat a serious tone or somewhat silly like Grimmins, but I feel like Boa should be in this list, especially because I kind of really like the design of it. I wish that motivation could come in a little bit better. I mean, his powers is not that bad, to be honest. Especially catching almost all the people of Paris. Well, overall, it's pretty much his execution is just bland at best. And number 9 is the Collector. Now, for those who don't know, the Collector is pretty much Gabriel Agress, aka Hawk Moth, as well as the father of Agent Agress. To make sure that his day at Hawk Moth stay safe, he became the Collector. another Akumatized villain. Now keep in mind, I didn't put Hawk Moth on this list because he's mostly the one who transports anyone to their own real desire of becoming a villain. This one, however, he wanted to cover up. His ability is not that bad, and his execution is somewhat fine at least, as well as motivation. Although the design is a bit too plain for my experience. Well, it's not that bad, and his power is somewhat okay, but his only weakness is to his book is full. But other than that, it's actually pretty cool we have to see a villain to become Akumatized, but that wasn't enough to be in a top 5 at best. I wonder if I have to see a series about that. Anyways, for number 8 is Timebreaker. Timebreaker is somewhat a time traveling, well actually somewhat a almost time traveling villain, but mostly from the current day to about a few seconds. It's complicated. Although the motivation is someone getting revenge on Koi Bourgeois for destroying her own watch. As such, Timebreaker came. Although I like the design of it, it's somewhat giving somewhat a alien take on a villain. And the motivation here is somewhat bland, but the execution is actually real interesting, especially with her abilities, such as touching her own victims to gain more power. And in the result, it could result in to be erased from existence. Yeah, that is just wrong, right there. It's just a shame that her motivation is pretty much boring at best. But other than that, I wish I could put her at number 5 if her motivation could have been better than that. And number 7 is Guitar Villain. Now, Guitar Villain is pretty much somewhat a character that wants to prove what is truly music. While there are other villains, especially our recent season 2 one, which is featuring a voice actor becoming a villain, but however, Guitar Villain is somewhat a first musical character to be featured in this list, especially because his own design. Is someone remind me of a current roster? I forgot what his name. But in any case, his ability to control people in the force of the dance is somewhat okay. It's basically nothing unique, but it's also a really good, interesting one at best. Also, the reason why I put him on this list is personally his dragon. Honestly, if you name any Akumatized villain on this list, or especially in the show, this is my personally favorite, especially the fact that it's really look cool. I mean, if you have a metal album, you should put this guy on the cover. And number 6 is Queen Wasp. Okay, perhaps maybe I should explain why I should put her on this number 6 instead of top 5. Look, Queen Wasp is not that bad. Honestly, it's actually interesting, especially the fact that Koi's design is somewhat similar to a bee. No, seriously, if you look at every episode, it's almost exactly like a bee. Like an actual bee. Bee. Okay, anyways. After requiring the bee, after stolen or basically found the bee become Miraculous, she pretty much become Queen Bee. And her first outing and actually work at best. But however, the only reason why I put her on this list is mostly because of the powers, her execution, and mostly her motivation to make her mother proud. Because, well, let's be honest here, Koi's mom is somewhat a stock up, so it makes sense that she became Queen once only because she wanted her mother approval. But however, the reason why I didn't put her top 5 is the Miraculous Queen form, which I think it pretty much servable enough considering it ruined the Queen Wasp character. But other than that, she is no doubtly most interesting as well as the foe, as well the first Miraculous warrior becoming a villain. And number 5 is, in my opinion, Zombizou. Zombizou is somewhat a parody of every character of Love, such as Rivian from Dragon Ball, as well as Sailor Moon, Native View. Personally, Zombizou is somewhat a almost gotcha villain. Basically, Zombizou is a teacher, marionette teacher, becoming a Akumatized villain. And her motivation is just pretty much interesting. Her motivation is to spread love by forcing them to kiss each other. I mean, I guess that's fine. I mean, it's worse than a zombie bite. But her design as well as execution is surprisingly not that bad. Her powers would pretty much come from her lipstick every time she kissed someone, or a cheek, mouth, or somewhat. It's actually almost got into Ladybug's own demise. It's a shame that I had put her number 5 only because her weakness is her wearing a lipstick. But other than that, her execution is pretty good. As well as motivation, I'll get that. And since we're still on top of that, and number 4 is Ikari. Now this one is insane. This character definitely earns to be in this list. At least, because, wow. I mean, her design is really, really amazing. Her design is pretty much somewhat similar to a Trojan horse. Instead of Trojan horse, it's a giant one. Her design is crazy. I like the red of the color because it definitely see what she's going through, as well her temper and rage. As well, her powers is somewhat a okay finder, and not that bad as well. And personally, her abilities is somewhat rival to any character. Hell, she even managed to rival against Marionette, Ladybug, Noir, and even Shigami, her own daughter. Although the reason why that she's down in number 4, not the top 3, is personally because of her weakness against her. And number 3 is pretty much the Malediktator, with a K instead of a C. Yeah, I don't know how it works, but basically now, the Malediktator is definitely a real good execution of a character, and as well motivations. You see, after basically now Chloe's leaving Paris, as well as his own husband, actually wife, aka Chloe's mom, he became the Malediktator. And such, every time he speaks out the words, he demands. And such, he definitely earns in this list. His abilities is somewhat demanding. It's somewhat similar to every dictator as well as leader of the history. Now keep in mind, it actually will not that bad. Although while his design is a bit blocky, but his color scheme as well, his execution as well motivation is dead on, especially his ability to power. Although he may be defeated, but he is a real executed one at best. Now keep in mind, I really because put Malediktator number 3, it was originally going to be going towards Chloe's mom at Akumatized Born, which is mostly Style Queen at best. Well, Style Queen did manage to catch a Cat Noir, but does more Nature Regress, not a Cat Noir abilities. It's just, boring at best. Her design and powers are not that bad, as well motivation to get vengeance, but that's mostly because of the hate triangle of anger of the Gretz family. I mean, seriously, you can tell literally almost every Chloe Bourgeois family get the hate triangle everywhere. With that being in mind, I personally want to put Malediktator in number 3 is mostly because it's right. Because 1, he is the mayor of Paris, and as mayor, he pretty much shows how he is mostly important as well we managed to uphold. And such, I think I pretty much want this character to be the seed. And basically now rival against characters like these. Although, basically enough, although he was later defeated as well returned to in the Battle of the Miraculous or in season 2 finale in some cases. But I really like the character. And basically the design as well motivation at least. At least. I just wish I could see more of him. But for the time being, I pretty much go wait until season 4. Seriously, after season 3 finale, I really wish we get a refreshing take on season 4 because, yeah. Well, hopefully Malediktator gonna be in season 4 because I really need something to someone give Chloe's wrist back. And don't worry, I'll talk to that later on throughout the year. With that being said, and number 3 is Gamer. The first version and the 2.0. Now, Gamer is somewhat a mixed bag for me. While at best, his motivation is somewhat want to get revenge of Marinette. This point, however, his pretty much changed when Gamer 2.0 when no one wanted to play with him. As such, I had to put him in the list. Because if you really think about it, he pretty much been a threat to the hero. Especially the fact that he was able to, well, let's say, outmaster the both Cat Noir and Ladybug. Hell, even if his second appearance in the show, that being Gamer 2.0, he forced both Cat Noir and Ladybug to fight each other, only to get his own advantage. And such, it's really not that bad, and honestly, a real good thing on the character. And reason enough, it is a real good one. And mostly the fact that his design, as well as his mech, aka his Pyramid of Doom, in my opinion, is really nice and feels really, really, really awesome. I would actually like to play a game with him because I just really like to pilot that thing. Seriously, it's like I want to play it. But if I could say number 1, I had to say the number 1 is Brink. Now keep in mind, this is from an alternate timeline, I know that. But then again, his abilities are insane. Especially the fact that you really think about it. This is a Blanc Akumatized villain. After a total outbreak between Hawk Moth, he was Akumatized. And he annihilated everything. Paris to the moon. His power is somewhat crazy. And basically, his motivation is somewhat lackluster, especially he mostly gone insane. But man, his power is pretty much motivated when you think about it. I mean, if you watch the episode, you pretty much know what I'm talking about. The gameplay that he earns of being this number 1 is mostly because of the fact his own power, as well of his deep loss of his own father, as well his girlfriend. It's really saddening because basically enough, Cat Blanc, aka Adrian Gress, have lost nearly everything. His mom, his dad, especially Marinette, as well his own friends, due to becoming Cat Blanc. Because under one reason, he is pretty much lost his own train of mind, as well gone insane. As such, I really feel like he definitely earns to be a number 1. Now keep in mind, it's either that or Cat, but that's a different bill for another time. That being said, I feel like that Cat Blanc definitely earns to be number 1 because of his execution as well as his powers and design. Well, even though it's just a white version of Cat Noir. but basic enough. I really like the design, as well his power motivation, as well the execution power that he managed to do. Based overall, I enjoy it, and I hope this will be enjoyable. Is there anything I missed in this top 10? If there ain't cool time buildings that I did mention here, or if there ain't one that I could cover, be sure you leave comment down below to see what is your list of this top 10 and what you have thoughts about this one. Until then, stay fresh, everyone, and I'll see you guys next time on the top 10.